you belong to. Come home.
Ow, please go away!
We can't go away, boy. We come for you.
The first time Eli saw a dead person, he thought it was his shadow. That was the mistake. Because shadows are supposed to follow you. This one didn't. It stood still in the corner of his room, tall and narrow. Pressed against the wall like it had always belonged there, like the room had been waiting for it. Eli was 8 years old, and it was 12:07 a.m. He knew the time without looking at the clock. Et al-Wedid. That was the strange part. He didn't wake up around midnight. He didn't toss or turn or drift into consciousness. His eyes opened sharply, suddenly, as if someone had shaken him awake from inside his head. Every night. 12h07. At first, his mother said it was nothing. Children wake at odd hours. Bad dreams, hunger, too much heat. Power had gone out again, and the ceiling fan sat motionless above them, heavy with dust and silence. But Eli wasn't crying when he woke. He wasn't screaming. He just lay there, eyes open, breathing slowly, staring into the dark. Listening. The compound where they lived had its own language at night, the scrape of lizards against concrete. The distant bark of dogs, the hum of insects rising and falling like waves. Pipes knocking somewhere behind the walls. Old buildings settling into themselves like tired bones. Eli had grown up with those sounds. They didn't scare him. What scared him was the absence of sound. The way the room seemed to hold its breath when 12:07 arrived. That first night, he watched the corner of the room grow darker than it should have been. Darkness inside darkness. Thick, heavy, wrong. He rubbed his eyes. The shape didn't go away. It stood where his school bag usually leaned against the wall, except this shape was too tall, too thin. Its outline blurred slightly, like heat rising from the road after rain. Eli held his breath. The shape leaned forward. No alked. No steped. Just lined. As if it were curious. Eli squeezed his eyes shut and whispered the only thing his mind could form. Please. When he opened his eyes again, the shape was closer. And that was when he realized it wasn't a shadow at all. It was a person. Eli screamed, so loudly the sound cracked the night open. His mother came running, wrapper half-tied, fear written across her face. She gathered him into her arms as he shook violently, his small body rigid with terror. What did you see? She demanded, scanning the room. There was nothing. The corner was empty, the darkness normal again. His school bag lay where it always had. It was here, Eli cried. It was watching me. She held him tighter, rocking him gently. Bad dream, she whispered. Just a bad dream. But, even as she said it, her eyes kept drifting back to the corner. Juste une case. Morning came, loud and careless. Sunlight spilled into the compound, chasing away the night like it had never mattered. Neighbors swept their doorsteps. Radios crackled with music and news. Someone laughed nearby. Eli sat quietly beside his mother as she washed clothes, his knees pulled to his chest. You didn't sleep well, she said. Eno dead. Nightmares, again. Hesitated. Yes. She sighed, rubbing soap into fabric. Children and dreams, she muttered. They see too much. Eli said nothing. Because he knew what he saw wasn't a dream. That night, he tried to stay awake. He counted his breaths. He recited numbers. He imagined the sun rising. When his eyes finally closed, they opened again instantly. 12h07. The room was already full. Figures aloos, nears d'or, pis a window, some bent at sod, some shingles. None of them moved. They didn't rush him. They didn't touch him. They just watched. One stepped forward into the moonlight. The man's face was pale and sunken, his eyes dark hollows. His mouth was slightly open, frozen in an expression Eli couldn't name. Faire. You can see us, the man said softly. Eli shook his head violently. Go away. We can't, the man replied. You wake when we wake. More voices rose from the darkness, whispering, overlapping. He hears us. He belongs here. He remembers. Eli covered his ears and screamed. After that night, the waking became routine. 12h07. Every team. The figures returned, night after night. They stood closer, each time, their faces grew clearer. Their injuries more visible. Some had deep wounds in their chests. Others had burn marks, skin cracked and blackened. One child's neck bent at an angle no living body could survive. Eli learned quickly not to look too long. During the day, he grew quieter, thinner. Teachers asked questions. His mother watched him closely. You're not eating, she said. I'm not hungry. You don't play anymore. I'm tired. She took him to an elderly woman in the compound, one who knew old things. The woman listened, eyes sharp. He wakes at the same time. Shuasked. Yes, his mother replied. Every night. The woman's mouth tightened. Night is not for children, she said slowly. Some doors open when they shouldn't. What should I do? His mother asked. The woman shook her head. Prêt. That night, the ghosts spoke more clearly. You're not alive the way you think, a woman said gently. Eli screamed at them, cursed them, begged them to leave. They did not. Instead, memories began to surface. Rain hitting glass. Headlights swerving. Metal screaming. Eli woke crying, clutching his chest. No, he whispered. No, no, no. Morning came again. This time, something was wrong. His mother moved through the compound like she always did, but when Eli spoke, she didn't respond. He followed her, heart racing. Mama. Khaled. She didn't turn. He reached out and grabbed her arm. His hand passed straight through. She froze, shuddering. Eli, she whispered into the air. Escrimed. That night, the ghosts gathered quietly. The man from the first night knelt before him. You died, he said gently. That night, in the rain. Eli's knees buckled. The memories crashed, in fully. The car. Et impact. The darkness. Tears streamed down his face. I didn't know, he whispered. The man nodded. Most don't. Dawn crept in slowly. What happens now? Eliaske. The man smiled sadly. When the sun rises, the dead must sleep. As the light grew stronger, the figures faded. Eli stood alone. When the sun fully rose, he smiled softly. And he never woke at 12:07 again. People say children imagine things. But in that compound, they say something else. They say if a child wakes every night at the same time, it's because the night is calling one of its own.